He never thought a single sentence could feel like a punch to the chest, but when Ethan heard his sister say, "You're not coming to Hawaii for Christmas," something in him cracked quietly. There was no argument from her, no hesitation, just a flat announcement that sounded more like a final decision than a discussion. And the worst part wasn't her tone, it was the way their mother avoided looking at him, as if the moment didn't concern her at all. Ethan stood in the living room, arms crossed, trying to understand how he went from being part of a family to being treated like an outsider. Christmas had always been their time. Every year, even when things were tough, even when money was tight, they celebrated together. Until now, his sister, Claire, didn't even slow down as she spoke. She was packing her designer suitcases, the ones she loved showing off, stuffing them with tropical clothes, new swimsuits, and matching outfits she'd bought for her 2 daughters. She wasn't cruel by nature, but she had changed. Her new lifestyle, her new friends, her obsession with perfection, they had all carved out a different version of her, one Ethan barely recognized anymore. Ethan cleared his throat, hoping she'd hear the pain hidden under the simple question. "Why can't I come?" Claire paused, only for a second. "Because it's already planned, Ethan. The rooms are booked, the tickets are bought, and honestly, you'd feel out of place. It's just better this way." She turned away again, zipping up another suitcase, pretending the conversation was over. He waited for their mother to say something, anything. But she stood by the kitchen counter, pretending to wipe the same clean spot again and again. She didn't defend him, she didn't disagree, she didn't even look up. Ethan felt the room getting smaller. "Mom," he asked softly, "do you think I shouldn't come either?" His mother froze for a moment. Her knuckles tightened around the cloth. She finally lifted her eyes, but only briefly. "Maybe next year, honey. This trip, it's complicated." Complicated. That word felt like a blade. Ethan nodded slowly, swallowing back the anger, the hurt, and the humiliation building in his chest. He wasn't perfect, he knew that. He didn't have the kind of money Claire had. He didn't walk around with designer anything. He worked long hours at a repair shop, lived in a small apartment, and barely made enough to keep everything together. But he never thought his family saw him as baggage, or worse, as embarrassment. For the next few days, the house buzzed with excitement. The girls practiced saying, "Aloha," Claire bragged about the luau they'd booked, and airplane notifications beeped from her phone nonstop. Ethan avoided them all, retreating to the garage where his father's old tools still hung on the wall. It was the only place in the house where he still felt like he belonged. The night before the trip, Claire was laughing loudly on the phone with a friend about their perfect family Christmas. Ethan heard it from the hallway and felt something inside him collapse. Perfect family, without him. He stepped outside, the winter air biting his skin, and walked aimlessly down the quiet street. Lights blinked in windows, families prepared for the holidays, and children squealed with anticipation. Christmas was supposed to be warm, gentle, full of belonging. But as Ethan walked alone, he felt more forgotten than ever. When he returned home, the house was dark. Only the living room lamp remained on, casting a warm glow. His mother sat on the couch, hands clasped tightly. She looked up, and for the first time in days, she truly looked at him. "Ethan," she whispered, "sit down." He hesitated but took a seat across from her. She looked tired, older than she did a week ago. "I should have said something earlier," she said. "I should have defended you." Ethan didn't respond. A lump formed in his throat. His mom continued, voice trembling. "Claire didn't want you coming because she feels responsible for everything going smoothly. She thinks the trip needs to be picture perfect. But that's her fear, not your fault." He wanted to be angry. He wanted to shout that it was still unfair. But the pain softened as he saw regret in her eyes, real, raw regret. "You're my son," she said. "And I let you feel like you weren't part of this family. That was wrong." Ethan blinked hard, trying to hold himself together. "Then why didn't you say anything?" She swallowed. "Because I thought maybe you didn't mind. You've been keeping your distance lately, working so much, I thought maybe you wanted space." He shook his head, disbelief filling him. "I never wanted distance. I just didn't want to be a burden." His mother's face crumpled. She moved closer and took his hands, squeezing them. "You're not a burden. You're my son. And I love you more than any trip or perfect holiday." The silence between them softened. For the first time in days, Ethan felt seen. The next morning, Claire rushed into the house with the girls, excited and loud. Suitcases lined the hallway. The taxi was waiting outside. She barely glanced at Ethan. But his mother did something no one expected. She didn't grab her coat. She didn't pick up her luggage. She simply looked at Claire and said, "I'm not going." Claire froze. "What? Mom, the flight is in an hour. I'm spending Christmas with my son," she said firmly. "You three go ahead, but I'm staying." Claire stared at her, stunned. "You're canceling an entire trip, for him?" "For us," her mother corrected. "He's part of this family. And I'm not celebrating Christmas while treating one of my children like he doesn't belong." Ethan felt his breath catch. He had never expected this. The girls looked back and forth, confused. Claire opened her mouth to argue but stopped. She wasn't used to their mother taking a stand like this. And for the first time, she realized the weight of what she'd done. "Ethan," she said awkwardly, "I didn't mean, well, I wasn't trying to hurt you." He didn't respond. He didn't need to. Her guilt spoke louder than words. After a tense moment, Claire sighed. "Fine. We'll figure out Hawaii next time." She turned and left with the girls, dragging the suitcases out the door. When it closed, silence filled the house again, but this time it wasn't heavy. It felt peaceful. His mother smiled gently. "How about we make our own Christmas? Just the two of us. Something simple, something real." Ethan felt warmth bloom in his chest. "I'd like that." They spent the next few days cooking together, watching old movies, fixing up the garage, and laughing about memories long forgotten. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't Hawaii, but it was honest, loving, and filled with the kind of warmth Ethan had been craving. On Christmas morning, his mom handed him a small gift. Inside was a tool engraved with his father's initials, and his own. "For your shop," she said softly. "And for the future you're building." Ethan's eyes stung with tears he didn't bother hiding. He finally understood. Family wasn't about trips, pictures, or perfection. It was about love, loyalty, and the people who show up when it matters most. And that Christmas, despite everything, turned out to be the one that changed everything.